100.3 Philly's R&B, the hot spot. I'm sitting here with the star of our morning show, Miss Amanda Seals.
Hey, y'all.
How are you doing today?
I'm well.
Okay, so let's start from the top. I was doing my homework, and I did some digging, and you have a whole media past life before we landed here in this radio show.
Yes.
Starting in the 90s.
Yes.
With the children's sitcom, My Brother and Me, in which you played the role Dion Wilburn.
That is correct.
Talk about that a little bit. How was that?
I feel like a lot of people think that, like, children's shows or whatever was some, like, young glam situation. And maybe it was for Hannah Montana. But for us, it was really, like, just a bunch of kids that got to hang out all day and film. I think it's really crazy now, just being an adult and looking back, like how fortunate I was to get to have that experience. And also, a lot of the folks on the show, they were from LA. They were brought in, but like I lived down the street because Nickelodeon had started a whole studio down the street. So I got to like be on TV without having to like be in Hollywood, And also, like, when you're a kid, you get to shoot at Nickelodeon studios and they have like slime and gack and all this stuff like at your disposal. Like that's like a whole situation. So I was very fortunate to be a part of that show. We were the first Black sitcom on Nickelodeon, and even though we only made new episodes for one season, they still played the same 13 episodes for 7 seasons, and we set the stage for Cousin Skeeter and Keenan and Kel and the shows that came after that. Keenan and Kel literally took over our soundstage, so
really,
it was a time. Just part of Black history. It's light.
And that kind of sets you up for your, hosting career, because then you became a VJ for MTV Sucka Free. So talk about how that was different in production-wise, as opposed to you being a kid, you just coming to shoot. Things were more productive. Somebody might have yelled at you, and you was like, bro, whoa, what?
It was very different. I mean, honestly, getting on MTV was a goal, like a life dream of mine. That was something at the time for my generation. Being an MTV VJ was like that thing. We came up watching Ananda Lewis. We came up watching and Lala and Caduce, and so it was a very big deal. I remember when I met Caduce, I met him when I was doing spoken word poetry at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and I said, listen, you're on MTV and I need to be on MTV, so we need to stay in touch. And to his credit, we did stay in touch. We're in touch to this day, and like when he would learn about a possibility for an opening, like he would share it with me, and I ended up running into him at a Kanye West release party in 2003.
Wow.
And he was like, yo, they're hiring. And I said, oh my God. He was like, I'm gonna get you an interview. And I had the job in 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
So, but doing MTV Sucka Free was interesting also because by that time I was so immersed in hip hop. I was writing for XXL. I was on radio at Sirius Satellite Radio. Like I was doing my own music. So when we started working at MTV, a lot of times like I'd have to correct them. I'll never forget when they had in the prompter that Tribe Called Quest was from Brooklyn. And I was like, stop. Linden Boulevard is both in Brooklyn and in Queens. But these are men that are specifically from Queens. And it was just such a dream at that time for me to get to, like, be interviewing, like, my music idols, to be interviewing Jay and Nas and Missy Elliott, and I was on Sirius at the same time. So my first job out of college was radio. Then I started doing Sucka Free, and so I have a very deep crate of photos and interviews that I get to bring to this new role here at 100.3 WRNB.
You have a lot of life experiences, right? So I'm going to show you this picture.
Yes. Oh my God.
And I need you to talk about that time, because the the double tank top era was crazy. I mean, men had their thing too, because we was wearing capris. So they wasn't jeans, but they wasn't shorts neither.
I used to call them shants. Because they were shorts and pants that you shan't wear. The double tank top time was a real time. And I was very committed to the double tank top era. This is my first album, Life Experience. I had just come off tour with Martha Ambrosius as the new Floetry. And we were supposed to, like, keep going and do albums and whatnot, but then like she didn't accept my friend request on MySpace, and so I had to pivot. Top 8.
That is hilarious.
So I had to pivot, and so I decided, okay, this is the time for me to launch my solo career. And I love music. I loved making music, but I hated the business. And that's really what drove me out of doing music. I really got to a point where it was like, I remember when I worked at The Gap, it was like, oh, y'all making me hate The Gap. So I had to quit. Because, like, I love the Gap.
Right.
And that's how I felt about music. It was like, y'all making me hate music, so I got to get out of it.
So if there was one artist that called your phone right now for a Amanda Diva feature, who could bring you out of retirement?
Well, to be honest, Robert Glasper brought me out of retirement. He had me do a poem on his album R+R. And that was something I hadn't done, like, in a long time. But it's a feature and a poem. That's like 2 retirement spaces at once. And he was like, just record it on your phone in your car. We have to close the album tomorrow. Right. So I knocked that out. But if there was a music artist, I would say a current artist? A current artist.
Give me something.
Ooh. It's scary that it's this difficult.
Yeah, because...
You know what the thing is, too? Like, the current artist, it is a different style of hip-hop than what I was doing. Yeah. So it's like, I'm literally also, like, trying to be a producer and think, like, who would I mesh with? Probably Corday.
Okay.
Even though when I saw him at the Blue Note Festival, and he was like, yeah, what's up? I was like, ooh, I'm old. I know he ain't mean no harm, but in that moment, I was like, ooh, I'm old.
Right.
I'm old.
So we're gonna bring it to Philly, right? I did some research, and I seen in an interview that you hosted the Roots Picnic for 9 years.
I did.
What was your favorite Roots Picnic memory?
I have 2. One really great Roots Picnic memory is just watching De La Soul perform, because De La is like my favorite group to see live of all time. I think actually 2 was when Snoop met my mom, and we went in his dressing room and caught contact immediately. But 3, I would say, like, the number 1 is, I love a moment that can change you, right? And, like, I had been hearing about Wiz Khalifa, and, like, I just wasn't, like, at the time, like, it just wasn't inspiring me, like, to like, listen to the music or whatever. But when I saw Wiz perform live at the Roots Picnic, like, it literally made me a fan, like, in real time. It went from me watching him at the beginning to, like, just being into it, and then to find out just how much of a kind person he is and just how dope he was, like, that just added more to it. So that was a really dope experience to get to become a fan in real time at a show, and that was something that happened at the Roots Picnic.
More research found that you dated a gentleman that was from Cheltenham.
You know what's funny is that another memory from the Roots Picnic was when Wale tried to fight me on stage at the Roots Picnic, and the gentleman from Cheltenham had to, like, jump over the guardrail and yoke up Wale.
Oh, for real?
And, like, pull him to the side, and Wale was like, this has never happened in D.C. And he was like, we in Philly.
Yeah, right.
With the beard.
Cheltenham is Philly.
I don't know these particulars. Okay, I feel like I don't know. I will say that he had all the trappings of a Philly nigga.
Okay.
And again, I was cooking halal, and I am not Muslim. Okay, like, I know about iftar and salat and all the things.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so assalamu alaikum. All right.
So I was doing some research.
Salam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah.
She's spitting in your ear. So doing some research, Philadelphia ranks as number 10 as one of the worst dating cities in America. What dating advice?
Number 10.
Number 10 out of
What's
all
number
the cities.
1? New York or LA? Gotta be.
What would you give for as advice for someone who is dating in Philadelphia?
Focus on your future. I feel like at this point we can't focus on dating. We just got to focus on our future and just believe that we are destined for good things, put out good, and good will come to you. Because the dating, like anything else, we've become such an untrustworthy society. And, like, I know Philly is known for a number of things. Chopped cheese. Philly is known for chopped cheese. Philly is known for Jones. Philly is known for its sports. Philly is also known for scammers. A lot of scamming. So it's like, you got to be so mindful, you know what I'm saying, all the time about everybody. And I feel like that is just a drain of energy. So the best thing that you can do is work on just being the person that's putting out good and manifest good coming to you.
Last but not least.
Speaking for myself included.
It's tough to follow your own advice sometimes. Last but not least, I need a Philadelphia public service announcement. Whether that has to do with the potholes in the street or too many tickets from PPA or bills not getting passed, as we want you to be the elder woman for Philadelphia now.
A Philadelphia public service announcement. Will you help me? I need to know because I don't really, I'm on the air in Philly, but I don't necessarily know the full extent of things that need to get dealt with in Philly. I do know that any place where they have to grease the light poles so that people don't climb them in exuberance of the winning of sports events is a reflection that the people are filled with a new level of enthusiasm that we should not slight. So what's my PSA?
I would address the potholes, like
The
immediately.
potholes?
Immediately.
Okay. So I heard that the potholes in Philly are immense, that they are causing an incredible amount of disruption. You driving, you listen to me on 100.3 WRNB, you in a good mood, and then doof, it changed the channel, it changed your whole energy. We can't have that. So what y'all need to do is you need to find out who your aldermen are in your area. And you need to contact them. Boop, boop, beep, 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 beep. And you say, yo, Amanda Seals said that you who I need to call to get that pothole up the block in front of my crib filled so we can actually get to work on a smooth ride, all right? Amanda's getting us to work on a smooth ride on the air. You need to get us on a smooth ride on the asphalt.
Amanda Sills, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.